Welcome back to another edition of Welcome to the Industry. I'm your host, Big DeeMo, and we are under the New York Underground Radio umbrella. Today, my special guest, my man has gone from the ones and two to hosting shows. My man has worked with some people in the industry that's helped him along his path along this way. Now he's building his own foundation, helping out his local area. He even has his own seed about to enter the business, and we're going to find out what's going on with that. My man rocks hard back from the day. He keeps that golden era sound alive. Let's introduce my guy, EdRock80. What's up, my man?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. I mean, for most of my guests, I don't really have that past for them where we actually like went to school together, you know. So when I cross somebody who's successful from my area, I always said, and my area has a lot of talent. People just got to figure it out. And a lot of people have come out of our area doing big things. So you just happen to be one of those guys. How you doing in your life?
I was doing good, man. You know what I mean? Getting old like some fine wine, man. Over time everything gets better.
Yeah, right.
Just working and like you already touched on, man. I'm kind of prepping my son, you know what I'm saying? Start doing his own thing. I mean, that's kind of like since he was old enough, you know what I mean? That's kind of been like the plan, as far as, his videography and all that, but just in life, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of prepping him, showing him the way, kind of maneuvering him, so he don't make the same mistakes I made, or maybe make the little path a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, you're doing your business, then you're adulting and parenting, all that
Yeah.
stuff. All that stuff is a long day. So I hear you, man. Getting into it, trying to get people to learn about like where your words about. Let's go back to the day, man. So, what DJ did you hear or see on the ones and twos? And for those of you who don't know what the ones and twos, that's the turntables. What DJ did you see on the one to twos that made you feel like you were gonna give DJing a shot? Like about how old were you too?
Actually, it wasn't even like a specific DJ, man. I started hanging out with my boy, One Tech, right? And he was already DJing. So this is around probably like when I was 14, man. Maybe somewhere around like 94, somewhere around there. Uh, and I was, I'd go to house parties with him. I'd carry his records, and I was just going along to get in for free. You know what I mean? Because I was with him, and then
That was
you know what I mean?
right. That's like the old way to get in.
Yeah. So I never really had like itch or anything like that. And then one day, we were just chilling, and he was like, "Hey, you know what? You want to get on?" And I was like, "Man, I don't even know what I'm doing." You know what I mean? And he was like, "Just get on." So I got on, and then little by little, he started showing me the ropes and stuff. And then it got to the point where it was like, all right, like, this is me. This is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, probably bought my first set off of my boy Miguel. Him and his brother had actually bought their own pair of turntables, and they were going to do the whole DJ thing, right? And that lasted maybe like 2 weeks, and they hung it up. They were like, "Nah, we ain't gonna do it." So then I ended up just buying the equipment from them, and
What
then
was it? New marks or techniques? What was it?
it's two Technique 1200s, and then the mixer was this old Stone Age Gemini mixer. Like,
Oh, the Gemini
it,
mixer,
it was a
like
Gemini, man.
88 or
Like,
something.
yeah, it still had the little needles. You know what
Oh,
I'm
with
saying?
the
When the
reader, the
sound
reader.
bounces, yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah. So once I scooped that up, like, it was on, man. You know what I mean? Like, just any chance I got, I was, trying to learn how to match beats and stuff like that. And then after that, you kind of fall into the categories of like perfecting your own style and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. That because that could either make your brain scramble or make your brain focus. Because once you see all that equipment and you see the wires and then you're learning this one goes this way, this one, this board's for that.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, I started out with boards too, so like I understand like it. new marks, and I was just like sitting there tripping, like just looking at the layout, like no way, I have to learn all this. It felt like when they were telling my brother how to drive a diesel, it had all those fifths in there, and like, what are you gonna do? So you were also saying like you were kind of like a late bloomer when it comes to like the vocal side. So with the
Yeah.
fact that you were like hosting a show too that kind of influenced it as well, talk about that path. Then also, how do you feel about doing your first album with vocals? Like, how did that feel?
So the doing the first album, like I think I just got to the point of like I just didn't care no more. You know what I mean? Like so along the way to get to that point, everybody around me was spitting. You know what I mean? And there was always like, hey, you do the beats, like I mean, you know how it is when you're producing other people, especially if you're in there live. You got somebody rapping or whatever, and they not hitting it on point, or hey, how about you change these words here? You know what I mean? Like,
That's a long day. Yeah, I
yeah,
do know. I do know. Punch me
yeah,
in. No, I don't want to punch you in. Spit it how you're supposed to spit it.
yeah. So by doing that, it got to the point where like I kind of knew certain working with certain people, it was like, all right, they're gonna come in, they're gonna have their stuff written, but I gotta really listen to it because now I'm gonna have to kind of rewrite a little bit something just on their delivery. You know what I mean? To kind of match it. So that's how the whole writing thing started. Like I started doing that, throwing bars here and there. Um, at that point, I would never say like, oh, I wrote that verse, I ghost wrote that or whatever, because you know how it is when you're collabing or whatever. It's not even about that. It's just like, hey, let's make it sound better like this, or you should do it like this, or take that out. You're spitting too many words, so take that out and kind of slow it down a little bit. Um, but then there was God man, what was his name? I don't even remember his name, but I remember he came in and everything was just like it was just wasn't hitting, man. Wasn't hitting. So then he was like, hey, well, you write a little bit, right? And I said, yeah. He was like, well, just write me something real quick and I'll spit it. I said, all right, like, because going through the process of making the beat and everything, you already know like the timing,
Yeah,
where,
absolutely. Yes.
yeah. So pinned him a little 16, gave it to him, and then he was like, all right, cool. So he got through it, and then little by little, I just started writing more on my own, just writing bars here, hooks there, whatever, just so I had them, just in case something like that ever happened again or whatever. And then it was actually my man, Skinny Stunt Stewie. We were working on one of his albums, and they needed like he had a song, and they needed like somebody to get on it. And he only had like one verse for it. Uh, so I was like, man, like I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like I'll write something real quick. So I wrote something. I got on it. It was this cut called oh man, Come Up. It's called Come Up. So I wrote a verse for that. Did a couple other stuff with him, and then that was it for like the longest time, right? Like I never wanted to be like so much on the mic. I was always cool just producing stuff, engineering, kind of off in the cut, behind the scenes. Um, so the further and further I got doing that, the more and more like I would have beats laying around, right? So then I would start writing hooks. Well, let me write a verse. Let me see how this would sound if you were spitting your stuff like this, like that. And then the whole camp, like my man Tech, Gangsta O, my boy Ruben Castle, all of them were like, man, like you could write, you could spit. Why don't you get on? Like, stop messing around and like drop something. So then I sat down and my boy Ruben Castle, and we started working on something. And tons of tracks in the vault, but nothing ever came from it. Um, my boy Ruben is like a perfectionist, like super duper perfectionist. So when it was like time to actually drop it, oh no, we got to fix this, we got to fix that, we got to fix this, that. And then after time, like, you know how it is once you got like stuff sitting in the vault forever, some of your like bars or what you're spitting becomes like very outdated or very dated.
Right. Yeah, that's the dangers of holding on to music.
Yeah. So So that kind of like those projects, that project is there. Maybe one day we'll put it out or whatever. Then the first album I released was Footnotes. So that was
Right.
just like that was just I just kind of hit that point like, fuck it, man. Like we're already this far deep into it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Nobody's gonna listen to it, or some people listen to it, you know what I mean? Like, let me put myself to the test and really sit down and really like, hone in on it and like let's put something out. So we did
Fair.
that. And if you ask me, like the project was good. I think it could have been better. I also like I did the majority of the beats on there, but where I think I kind of messed up was I waited till the last minute until it was time to like send everything over to my boy Tech to have it mastered.
Mm,
And I gave myself like a week and a half to write every single song. You know how that goes, man. Like, like so
not enough.
yeah, so I feel there's certain spots in that album, like, and that's just, like the average person listening is not gonna notice it, but like me or yourself, you're gonna pick up, like, okay, well, this could have been a little tweak better, or, you know, so forth. So when it came after that, I was like, I'm gonna take my time with it. I'm not gonna. I have a bad habit of working on like 5 or 6 different things at one time, like doing a little bit here, going a little bit there. That
That's how it is in music, though. That's how it is.
yeah, yeah. So after that, I try to sit down and finish one at a time. Like one song. Okay, it's top to bottom done, and then there we go. Um, yeah, and then once we finished that first project, like I think that was the like okay, like I know I can do it. You know what I mean? Like all these years of just kind of like not being half in, half out. I really don't want to be out in the spotlight, or yeah, I get to it whenever. That was like the point where like, all right, like you know what I mean? Like I'm in. And then what part of it too was like my son, man, like he's through everything I've ever done, he's always been there. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, Dad, like you love doing this. This is what you do. This is you. What are you waiting for?
Right.
So,
Like,
hey,
dang.
yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy that it took, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like 20 plus years or whatever the case was, 17, 18 years. It took out of everybody telling me, the people, my homies, the people that I was working with, whatever, it took him for it to really sink in and be like, okay, like, you know what I mean? It's time to do it. Like,
The youngest one in the whole crowd. Like, come on.
yeah,
That's funny, man. That's really good. Like that kind of path is more common than not. A lot of DJs and producers I feel like go through that, and especially the struggle with like being in the spotlight, not being in the spotlight. A lot of guys just want to make beautiful music, get their money, and go inside. So that's good that you opened up your mind to that. Now that you have all three elements underneath you, what do you like more now, producing, DJing, or doing the lyrical part?
it's probably, there's probably going to be like a tie between the lyrical part and the producing. Um, the DJing is always there, you know what I mean? But I think as technology gets like more advanced, it almost takes like the fun out of it. I mean, like I'll still spin here and there, but um, like when I first started, man, like you had to have a little bit, you had to know enough to actually use the equipment. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to know what you were doing. Now you can hit sync, or there's all kinds of
I mean, I'm telling you, three buttons in, and they've done what takes hours
yeah.
for most of it, like cutting, like going through the record and cutting, and people don't even know. Um, so doing some research, you end up working for a radio station, right? How
Yeah.
was it working through that and working with Rampage, and what new elements did he bring to your craft, if any?
Oh man. So working there was cool, man. Like it kind of that too, like kind of just fell into my lap. You know what I mean? Like so that was when that opportunity came up, I was in Phoenix. I was living in Phoenix, and I was like done, man. I was done with everything. Like I wasn't even like the most you would get out of me is I play records at the house or I play stuff at the house, for me and the family or whatever. I wasn't doing no kind of production, wasn't writing nothing. And my boy, One Technique, he was actually working on another show. I think it was called Society Tuesdays. And one of the guys he was doing the show with, um, what was his name? It was Yog Westwood and D Dog, and I think Yog was linked up with Ramp somehow, like on the management side or something like that. So Ramp was coming down and then checking the show out and whatnot, and Tech shot him the idea of like, hey man, like what Arizona really needs is like a boom bap, like 90s, kind of like that raw, rugged, like radio station. It's
Right.
cool everything that they're playing on the air, but it's all like you really don't see that out here. Which was true, man, because I mean, I think there was only like two major like hip hop stations out there. And it's like anything, they got a program director, whatever, they're playing, what they gotta play, what's hot and this and that. So
Of course. Of course.
Ramp kind of told him, well, instead of me going out and looking for somebody to do it, why don't you just do it? So then he was like, okay. So then he came to me with the idea, and I was like, I don't know, man. And then he was like, well, just do one show with me. Do one show with me, and then if you want to come back, come back. If not, cool. So I was like, all right. So we did the show, and then after that, I just like, you know what, like this is it. This is where I belong. You know what I mean? Like I'm in. So after that, it was game over. We are doing it, and then what I liked about it too is Ramp had this dude develop his own app through your iPhone, through your Android or whatever. So we didn't even have to worry about like going through like terrestrial radio, right? So where you got, you're limited to what you can play, what you can do because of the FCC and all that.
Right. You go BS.
Yeah, so it was kind of like no holds barred. Like we could play whatever we want. We could don't have to censor what we say, or we can if we wanted to do a show for like 3 hours, if we only want to do two, we do two, whatever. And then I felt like it was easy to be able to like grab your phone wherever you're at, open up the app, and as soon as you open it up, you're tapped in with us. And through that too, like since we were based out of Phoenix, and then Ramp's out there too. He's based out of Phoenix right now. I think he still is.
Okay.
Uh, Everybody else on the station was like all like we had people in California. He had a lot of East Coast because he's from the East, so he had a lot of dudes and DJs from the East doing stuff. So since we were the closest ones to him, he would sit in on a lot of shows with us. We would chill with him, like you know what I mean, like kind of like how me and you were chopping it up, like we chopping it up like that. And man, just some of the game that he was giving us about what goes on, in the industry, the importance of making sure your royalties and your publishing and all that is in tap. Uh, Even like recording. So for the longest time, that was probably another reason why like I never really like try to put out an album. I was always taught that from bar 1 to bar 16, you got to hit it all in one shot. Boom, no mess ups, no nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, like, writing a bunch of stuff, it was kind of hard to remember all that. And once we started chilling with Ramp was like, hey, I'm gonna show you a secret. And I had never known anything about punching in or anything like that. But he always used to talk like I never write nothing. So I used to laugh like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, how many people do you hear say, oh, I never write nothing, it's all off the top? And after one of the shows, we were actually, my man Tech was recording him. He had done some beats for him, so he was recording him. And sure enough, man, he didn't write. He listened to the beat and he'd say some, like 4 or 6 bars to himself. All right, let me lay it. Lay it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 all the way through. And then in a matter of minutes, the song was like done. I mean, like 15, 20 minutes, he had it done. So that opened up to me like all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like I was so anti punching in and all that stuff. I was like, all right, cool. Now, like I could hit 4 bars. And then if I lose my breath, it's cool because, I pick it up in here. And then you know how it is once you lay the sauce on it and you do your magic at the end, you would never know if anybody.
Nah, why don't you cut out the air pockets and
Yeah,
how it goes? It's. I mean, and I think a lot of people forget like punching in is nothing new. It came in from back in the days, like with singing, trying to learn all this, the singing vocals. But that's how easy did his whole album
yeah,
with Drake. They punched in the whole album. You know what I'm saying? Like their very first album was punching, and they found a lot of success. So, Jay Z, Wayne, a lot of the guys still punch
yeah.
in. So considering your seed is now into the scene of the industry, what's your advice to him right now?
My biggest thing with him is to know what he's worth and not to get like basically call it like starstruck. You know what I'm saying? When you meet people or you're working with people, because it's very easy. Uh, I tell them all the time. There's people out there that there's like one or two. So there's people that are real and they're down to work with you and do things and they'll be honest with you and all this. Then there's the other ones that are always clocking you. They're always like, okay, what could I get out of them? What can
You
you
know
know what I
it.
mean? So I just told him, you got to keep your head on the swivel, and then you know what I mean, like make sure you're always aware of what's going on, what you're doing for what, who you're doing for what you're doing for who, and never sell yourself short, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do something, you're filming out there or you're doing print work or whatever, make sure you get your compensation, whether it's money or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because of course, when you first start off, like I mean, you know how it is. Like if you get some bread, it's not going to be a lot of bread, but at least it's
Just enough to keep you going.
yeah, yeah,
It's some USD stuff. Just enough for it to keep you going.
yeah. And then I tell them too, like if you don't feel comfortable doing something, like you don't think you could pull it off, don't commit to it. Don't like know your limits, know your boundaries. Because the worst thing is you want to tell somebody, yeah, I'll do it, and then you don't deliver. You know what I mean? Now, okay, well, I'm not gonna go to him because I already went and he couldn't even come through on it. So I'll go to the next person.
Well, especially in our neck of the woods in California, it's all about your word and your business. So you already
Yeah,
know, like you could ruin your name real quick
real quick. Yeah.
with roads. This is a question that we ask, and it changes for everybody. But I think you'll be the first one with this one. But give me your top 5 DJs, dead or alive.
Top five.
Yeah, DJs. And there's so many good ones that people don't even know.
Uh Man, this is gonna be a tough one, dude. So if we're going, you know what, I'll just because I listen to all kinds of stuff. So what I'll do is I'll do like EDM, electronic, hip hop. I'll do them all together.
Okay.
So
It's
and this is
however you
like
want to lay it out.
yeah, this is like no particular order whatsoever either, because I mean it's always up for debate. So one to be Bad Boy Bill. Uh
Okay.
uh I've always thought he was dope because he came from like the turntables world, the DMC championships and all that. Then he crossed over to the EDM. And then when you go see him, like I've seen him live, I don't know how many times, but when you see him live, he's still got the elements of hip hop in there. Like he'll beat juggle, he'll scratch while he's playing, the house or electronic, whatever he's got. Um, who else, man? I would have to say, oh man, was DJ Shadow
Okay. DJ
on the
Shadow.
digging aspect. Uh, the amount of records that fool digs and finds and how he puts everything together. And I think it was In Tune and In Time that he dropped or something like that. There was like a visual for it. I think it was like on DVD. And how he wrapped everything together with the music and the visuals. was off the hook. So that's two. Um, I would have to say Mr. Chalk from the Beat Junkies. Uh,
Okay.
I've just always loved anything he's ever done. From the selection of stuff that he plays, the cuts and everything. So that's three. Four would probably be DJ Loser from the Funk Freaks. Um, he plays a lot of funk, a lot of hip hop, but there's just something like that whole crew. I mean, all those DJs in that whole crew, they're pretty dope. But there's just something about him when he gets on, like I don't know, man, just the energy that he gives off. It's like it's dope. And then like he does the same, like he does the same thing too, where Bad Boy Bill does is where he'll beat juggle. So he might be playing some like 80s funk or some old school stuff. And then he'll beat juggle it, he'll do the scratches, the cuts, stop button, and then bring it back. So that's what four. So five. Oh man, I might get some flack for this one, but Richard Humpty Vision, man. He's more on the house side. I think I've always had like a soft spot for him because I actually met him one time, and when I mean, on further in the music thing, like you start to learn, like a lot of people have egos, or they like, oh man, oh hey, what's up, da, da, da. And then a lot of them are like real down to earth and cool. So
Right.
I met him when I was like, I think it was like 16, and it was at an in store at what was that? I think it was like B Nonstop, a record store, and real cool, man. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Da, 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 whoop, 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 whoop. And I had always listened to his stuff like on Power 106 when he was doing like Saturday Night Street Party,
Right.
Power Tools, all that. Then I met him again when I had to be like 17 or 18, somewhere around there. And he actually remembered, like he didn't remember me by name, but he was like, hey, like I met you before, like, and I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that's cool, you know what I'm saying? So like I've always had like I said, like a soft spot for him, you know what I mean? Like he's outside of the EDM world and the house world, I don't know about him like that, but I mean, I've always thought he was dope, and I've always appreciated that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then that he just from our era, like when we were coming up, that was like who you heard. Him, Bobby D, guys starting to put it together
Yeah.
to where they are now. Yeah, that's very cool. That's a very cool five right there. That's gonna take some people back when they hear it, when they watch this. What's next for EdRock80?
um, like I said, working on another album. That one's gonna be like 100% um, produced, engineered. I'm rapping on it. Um, Hopefully, man, if I could get everything done, probably looking at like March, somewhere around there. Um, I'm also working on doing production for my man Gangster O. I probably got, if everything lands and everything sets on the album, I probably got like 4 tracks on there that I produced. Um, and then me and my man One Technique, we're actually kind of like in the very early stages of doing like another beat album. So we've done 2 of them before under the Dusty Needles moniker. So the first one was Keep It 8,000. That was all me and him, just beats, and then we mixed them all up. And then the second one was Gumbo 101, and that was me, him, and my boy Ruben Castle. All 3 of us, just all instrumentals. So yeah, we're me and Tech are getting that one ready to go, and I think hopefully by hopefully by summertime, you know what I'm saying, like May, June, something like that, we'll have everything done. And then I did a project with my man DJ Prospect called Nonstop Dopeness. But I have a lot of leftover beats that he had sent me. He sent me probably like, I don't know, man, maybe like 30 or 40 beats. There's a lot of stuff that he sent. Uh, so once I finish the next EdRock80 solo joint, I'm probably gonna start working on that one where it's he him on the production and then me just fucking rapping.
Nice. So you got to plan. You got to figure it out. That will lead us into a part two because I'm definitely gonna want to check in. Plug us into all your socials. Where can we find you at?
Instagram's EdRock80. Um, I think Twitter, which I'm hardly ever on, is like I think it's like EdRock80. YouTube EdRock80. Uh, that's pretty much it, man. Like I'm not on the TikTok or anything like that. If you want to get at me, get a hold of me, or whatever, Instagram's probably the best place.
That's what's up, man.
Oh yeah,
Listen,
and then I forgot to say too, Apple Music, EdRock80, Spotify, EdRock80. Um, those are like the main streaming services that you can find my stuff. I got stuff like on Deezer and iHeartRadio and all that stuff too. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
that's a good little reach. So we should be able to find you pretty good. I'm pretty sure a lot of the new wave is with Deezer and iTunes and stuff. So they'll be able to find you so they can get a sample of that sound. But man, I just want to thank you for your time and that experience. That was a heck of a story, and just there's more to it that we could get at a later time with the second part. Definitely dig a little deeper on some of the side stories. I know you got some side stories for like the road and the things you guys did in Phoenix in the background and stuff. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely pick back up on that. But today, I thank you for your time and giving us that piece. And I hope you have a good rest of the week, man.
Hey, appreciate you for having me, man.
Yeah, so we'll catch up with you. This is another edition of Welcome to the Industry. That's EdRock80. I'm Big DeeMo, and we'll see you later.